What's crazy is that I noticed that a lot of people would get onto me in the past that, Michael, you never get excited about anything, or you've got such a calm temperament. Like, why are you calm all the time, even when something good's happening, when something's bad happening? You seem very unchanged. I can't really read your emotions. And I think over the years, I've kind of noticed that personally, I think it's best not to get too high if things are going super well, or not to get too low when things go bad. I think it's good to just be stable at the end of the day, because when you think about it, you've got certain people who sometimes you see them and they're in such a good mood, such a good mood, sorry, they're over the moon, they're really excited about something, they're really happy, which is great. But then when these guys have bad times, when they go through something negative, these people, they fall so hard. And in my head, I'm like, man, that roller coaster of emotions, that can't be healthy. I think it's too much of a shock to the body. I think you're better off if you're just stable. So because of that, it's got its advantages. The main advantage being that if something bad happens, you're not going to get too low. But the only thing with that people would say is that if you don't get happy, super gassed when good things happen, when can you really enjoy life? And I understand that, but I think with life, it's kind of a give and take. I've kind of accepted that, listen, like life is not promised. If something good happens, obviously I'm going to be happy. But at the same time, I'm not going to get myself to a mode where I'm just in this euphoria state. Because once I'm in that euphoria state, I can get blindsided with something. And then when things go bad, man, I'm going to be down on that roller coaster. I know that I'd rather always be at a 7.5 out of 10 or an 8 at all times. Worst case, so I'm going to range from an 8 to a 6 on a bad day, rather than me being a 10 one day and a 2 the other day. Personally, I just can't do it. I don't think that's very sustainable. And also with that, when bad things happen, it's going to be very difficult for you to get on with your day. So I've noticed that I need to just be stable. I remember even to the point where when I got my graduate role at BDO, this was back in 2020, I remember I got the role. It was amazing, whatever. A lot of people struggling to get jobs at that point, finance role, difficult to get into. So I remember I was in uni, I was in a computer room. I was in third year, someone had come up to me and they were doing like a questionnaire survey for their course. And then they were asking me some questions, and then they asked, have you secured like a graduate job yet? But this was maybe half an hour in. And then when I said yes, the girl was so shocked at, oh, you said that, but based on what you were saying for the last half an hour in your demeanor, I wouldn't have even guessed you had a job because you sound so unenthusiastic about it. You seem very unbothered. If it was me, I would be over the moon. And that's when I just realized, oh, raw, okay, maybe I'm a bit different the way that my temperament is. But I ended up quitting that job after about 6 months anyway. So the fact that I didn't get high on it kind of helped me, because I knew that, yo, listen, this is temporary. Things could go a bit bad. I'm going to be a bit cynical about this. I'm not going to kind of use this to get super gas, because I know things could go left at any instant. And because of that, when things were going bad at the company, instead of being at an 8 like I normally am, I was at a 6. But I was able to make the sound decision to quit, and then I was able to do my own thing, and I've been in pretty good spirits since then. But the aim of the story, man, don't get too high, don't get too low. I think J. Cole even said that in Forest Hills Drive, January 28th. He's talking about at the end of the song, like, don't get too high, don't get too low. I agree with that, man. Let your emotions be stable. It's kind of like your blood sugar level, your insulin level. You want that to be stable. If it goes high, you get that high off the sugar, and then you get that crash. That crash feels so awful. You don't want that. Stability is the wave.